Hey everybody, Texas Stroker here, Lance's Performance Shop, Lone Star Mopars.com. Tuesday night in the shop, Christmas rapidly approaching. We just cranked out kind of a unique tool haul. It's Casey tool, but it was all stuff for my nephew. And what is this? This is Harbor Freight, but it's all stuff for my nephew's Christmas. So, you kind of get to a point, like as you grow up, like a little kid, it's easy, like you're into this, insert video game or insert sport, or get a little bit older and insert, like sport video game, and basketballs, football type of a thing. And then you get to driving, and it's like, I wonder if you'd like golf, and no. So you get to a point, and it's like, you know what? You're always going to need tools, you deserve to be handy and self-sufficient. And, my nephew spends enough time around me. I try to instill that in him. And, yeah, so that's where we're running with this, right? Like I could just like give gift cards or something stupid. Like here, have some Apple dollars to buy whatever junk music you want. But no, we're going to do better for the kid. So that's what we did here. And this is a weird video in the sense I'm not really going to open anything. But some of this stuff is repeat purchases that you will have seen me brought in. And some of it'll just sort of make sense. Maybe it's some ideas for you to give to someone, whether it's a, parent or children or grandparent or uncle. Uncles don't really get enough attention, in my opinion. We don't have an Uncle Day. Looking out for aunts too. Like, when's the last time anyone celebrated Aunt Day, right? How National Donut Day happens like 8 times a year, but no one complains, even though we all know that it's happened at least once already pretty recently. There's never an Aunt and Uncle Day. So if you need to get something for your uncle just because, well, I'm here to help. So this right here, I think my nephew will be pretty excited about. I'm not going to lie, I'm excited about it. I don't have this. And it's kind of weird, like giving someone something better than you yourself have, right? We worded that correctly, didn't we? Essentially, we have like the plebeian entry-level version of this that came out long before the 5-year tool and 3-year battery warranty. And this one also has way better lighting. But we have memories and nostalgia with ours. We have pretty early on, we got into the Hercules line. That thing, I would love to showcase it to you, but it's at work. Again, I don't really get to like plan this stuff out. I'm truly in a time crunch, more than you would know. And this came into my life this weekend. I've been planning to pick it up. They had a sweet deal going. These are typically right shy of 100. But if you buy it, you get a free battery, okay? And you're thinking like, oh, what good is that without the frickin', charger? Well, here's the deal. The tool isn't anywhere near 100. This box has the tool, a charger, single battery, please note, and one 2.5 amp hour battery. Would I prefer a 5.0 amp hour battery on this? Absolutely. But this is a gift. I don't think he's going to be like running the house down with this thing or anything. It should be more than sufficient. It keeps it lighter weight. I think 2.5 is really good for a ratchet for that very reason. But this essentially gives him 5 amp hours, right? He'll hopefully, with this, learn to charge the batteries after use and keep a spare charge type of a deal, right? It's a teaching point. But mine, even though it's not got this shiny silver holographic thing that says brushless, my early one, they were not brushless. That's probably why we didn't have the 5-year warranty too. That is at work. It has not had an easy life. It lived in a bag, a Hercules bag, which somehow never did fall apart, despite carrying a ton of... I think I scaled that right before I got set up in the cart. I want to say I mentioned it in the video, but I'm thinking it was around 40-something pounds, which I don't know that bag was intended for that, but it did it. So that thing... primarily serves as an impact there. It's not so much, like running screws in or anything. It's like, okay, we're going to break this off because a ratchet won't do it type of a deal. And probably done some things that shouldn't be done with it. But we've done it, and it's still here. It's still kicking. I kind of thought my nephew would go green. I'd kind of settled in on Metabo. I was like, ooh, this would be exotic. And again, that would be really sad because he'd have something way fancier than what I've got. But he's used this, not the brushless one, but my, again, generic equivalent to this, and he actually likes it. And he's like, the color kind of matches my car, blah, blah, blah. And he's familiar with it. I think familiarity in this case develops. You get someone started saying, like, spanner, and they're going to call a wrench a spanner. You start someone calling a wrench, and they're going to call it a wrench. All right? So this is what he's familiar with. He's comfortable with it. Makes sense to him, stands to reason, he would follow suit there. So, the other thing Harbor Freight has done since we bought this, you used to get tool only, battery only, charger only, right? This is a kit. These took a while to come to market, the kits, probably because they were waiting for brushless and to expand the warranty and everything. But they've basically got this kit and a drill kit that I'm thinking of. I don't think they've ever done anything with the ratchets, oddly enough, but it is what it is. So this is a fantastic starting point. Can he leech off my battery ecosystem? Sure. I've got him at work and home, but getting him set up at his place, this is going to be great. Now, $97.99, I think it's a pretty good deal because, again, I've got years of experience with an inferior iteration of this, and I know that I've done things that shouldn't have been done with it, and it's still here, so I can gift this confidently. But they had a promotion that's like a coupon where this was on for $89, basically just $10 off. But Hercules, typically discount exempt, hard to get great deals on it, right, outside of what they pre-package for you to consume. So I'm sitting here thinking, like, I'm going to go buy this for $89, have them set up with another battery. But boom, get to the cash register. Even though the lady was nice and liked me, she says I can't have it. You basically have to pick. I could have bought this for $89, or I could pay $97-ish for whatever, $97.99 for that box and gotten the 2.5 amp hour battery. Do the math on the 2.5 amp hour battery that's somewhere like in the 30 to 40 range. Yeah, I went this direction. Now, if this was just me buying this for the house to replace the one that's at work and is clearly never coming back home with me, this would be a great deal to take the $10 off. I don't necessarily have to have the battery, but the power play here is saving you the most, getting you the most bang for your buck, really, I guess is a better way to look at it, is to snag the extra battery. So that's what we did. This is going to be the 4-mode deal, which is pretty cool. Again, the lighting, it's sort of more akin to like the newer DeWalt's front-facing instead of just a little cheap one right here. This has like the cool, tri-lobe design. 1/4-inch impact. We can set them up with... I kind of hate using drill bits. And you can, but you get into something like past wood, and I don't know how I feel about it really. You can definitely do it, it's just not ideal. But bits, whether it's hex, screws, slotted, Phillips, you name it, all that can plug and play. Drill bits, again, for simple things like that. Shoot, for stuff they'd probably do around the house, or have me do around their house, like hanging a picture frame type of a deal. I wouldn't hesitate to do this, save the money versus a drill. There is a bolt removal mode on these, and that brings me to another component of his gift. These right here. I will do my best to link all this. Obviously, I'm not affiliated with Harbor Freight. They're not affiliated with me, which is a shame because I need more toolboxes, but it is what it is. Right here, though, this is something else I have abused. How have I abused it? I've put these in here, particularly the 1/2-inch drive, which is the most egregious one you could select. Paired it with a 15/16 or 1 1/8 socket and done some crazy things. So these are really, really, I would say, very reasonably priced. If you lose them, you're not out, the world here. They are impact rated, which is very important. I do care about his safety. And again, I've got track record of experience with these. So I think that's going to pair really well. Obviously, to run these, it makes sense that you would need an impact rated socket. Don't tell me you're going to let him run those Quinns, you say. Like chrome vanadium will shatter. Totally agree. Totally agree. So, this is not... I repeat, not what I was going to do for him. What I planned to do for him, there was a 20%, still is a 20% coupon for Quinn. Anything Quinn. Quinn has some fairly nice impact sockets. They look an awful lot like my Capris, which look an awful lot like Sunex. And you can get the Capris, especially with a 20% coupon, as better bang for your buck than you can some of the other offerings, right? Does that make me think that Quinn or Capri or Sunex is better than Ryder Proto? Absolutely not. But entry-level stuff with that kit, 20% off. This is like everything the kid's gonna need. It's shallow, it's deep, it's SAE, it's metric. I plan to start him with 3/8. I thought it would be like the most versatile. And then again, if he like proves to me like he'll take care of this, respect it, next Christmas, next birthday type of a thing, we get him a dedicated 1/2-inch impact. That's why we kind of went this route. That's like the B side of the story. Get him the dedicated 1/2-inch, get the big sockets, get him set up with some lug nut sockets, that type of a thing. Go to town. But this is the entry level. This is your gateway drug. And to my surprise, there was no trace of the Quinn impact sockets. Nowhere. I tracked down the manager chick that's always nice. I was like, hey, where the heck are your Quinn impacts? She's like, oh, we're sold out. And didn't have them. Nothing. Not in the back. Nothing. So I was sitting there looking at the Pittsburghs, which I have personal experience with. They don't wear particularly well, but for the money, especially like for an instance like this, it's sort of hard to go wrong with them. That said, they looked terrible. I could not find a shallow and deep. That's the big perk with Pittsburgh. You get like more for your money, you know, even if it's not the best for your money, but it's decent for the money. They looked so bad. I mean, even the sets were inconsistent. I've shown you before how we have some that are just like a typical matte finish, and then others are just super nasty gloss dip, sloppy, can't see the stamping anymore, it's so thick. There was a smorgasbord of everything on the same socket set, and I was disgusted, quite honestly. It's the tool snob in me coming out. And I thought, you know what, this is like, it's not that much more money, especially with 10% off, to just do this. Now, as the caveat with Pittsburgh, I would have gone shallow and deep. I probably would have done SAE and metric for him. Shallow and deep, it's basically close to this. This might be slightly cheaper. I don't like this way they skip sizes sometimes either, particularly since he was primarily going to be metric. But when the Quinn stuff wasn't there, it kind of threw the whole thing into a loop anyway, and then I was just appalled by like what I saw in front of me, and I was like, you know what do they have in Icon? And this is what I went with. This is the 13-piece metric set. There's no skips, 7 to 19. Do I wish it was larger? Yes. Will this cover the vast majority of what he's going to need in this drive size, particularly with something like that? Absolutely. Like I said, lug nuts, anything big, heavy duty, which outside of like lug nuts, I don't really think you'd have much outside of, you know, like bigger, you know, weight machines if we ever expand on or something. But realistically, you know, like if you're adding on accessories, you know, like dip station, like you're probably going to need someone to hold it. I would probably be that person. So I think this is a great starting point. I went with deep in part. I kind of thought I had bought shallow. And I didn't. But yeah, the deep is what we're going to roll with. I'll get him into some tighter spaces. Again, we're going to be working with this sort of as an extension, so you lose a little bit of torque. But again, how much do we really need? 7 to 19, right? I think this is going to be a good starting point. Plus, and this is, it's, I don't know. I've gotten to where I'm like an Ernst person. I prefer a rail. Even back in the day when I was his age, like I had spring steel and nothing cool, but like it was just spring steel in a drawer flat, right? With that Quinn set, I see blow molded cases with the numbers as like great for the car, right? Throw them in there, you open it up, you got your hopefully easy to read size markings. He actually really, really likes it, and we have it folded out in his cart so he can like see the numbers and everything. This Icon tray, I know what they're like. It's very hard to see it through the plastic. That's a pretty good angle, but it's backwards. It drives me crazy. But 7 through 19 down here at the bottom. Full of wind. Super happy with that. And I think he's going to like how it's laid out. This won't take up a ton of space. It'll pair nicely with what he's already got. It was just kind of a no-brainer. So, quarter drive, brushless impact, got the good warranty on it. We've got this adapter set. We've got the icon sockets tied in with it. And then, this was my next stuff. Okay. I don't necessarily just want them like throwing the 3/8 on and running deep sockets all the time. You know, that's sort of like if we need to do it type of a deal. I thought, how can we maximize this? I'm probably going to get him a bit set, maybe the drill bits for his birthday, you know, later in the year, next year, that is. But right here, this is what I thought was a perfect complement to the driver. So what we have is 9-piece metric, 9-piece SAE. These are going to be magnetic nut setters. They're not deep. We'll run with these. The deep ones weren't as comprehensive of a set. They were like 5 pieces or so. So this is 5, 5.5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. The 11 might actually be useful if we cross it over with 7/16, you know, sort of as a replacement. SAE, quarter, 9/32, which again, you could argue like, yeah, really? But 5/16, 11/32, which again, is kind of just there. 3/8, 13/32. Ooh, you know, there are a lot of fractions. How often you're going to see them? I don't know. 7/16, 15/32. There's one you don't see often. And half. So you got your glory ones here. Quarter, 5/16, 3/8, 7/16, and half. Same thing over here. 7 and 8 both actually could come in handy on the belly pans on the car. 10, obviously going to be used a lot. It's a shame this doesn't go to 13. As crazy as that is, but you know, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Maybe we'll go with something like this from Viha, all right, with the old trusties here. I've heard people say they don't like the metric ones. I don't know. I mainly use those on fences and stuff. But anyway, I thought this would pair really well with that. The bit set will come. I was kind of waiting for a sale on it. The adapters, again, are going to be nice. This will be a good starting point eventually. And if he likes these, you know, maybe 1/2-inch sets in his, you know, future at some point in time. But it all just kind of pairs really well, in my opinion. So the thing that doesn't pair well is what happens when you open these, right? I can tell you the cheap ones I have, I don't even remember what brand they are, but at the time I just threw them in that bag. I think it was the 5-piece SAE one. So probably a tier or 2 down from Hercules. Like I said, man, I'm over here giving people stuff like way better than what I'm running. But I threw them in the bag. There's like 6 pockets, 3 on each side. I just threw them all in there. The adapters are in one. The locking adapters from Vera are in there. All sorts of stuff is just thrown in the pockets. He's not going to do that. These aren't going to go in a tool bag, so there's no pocket. So, like, what do you do with these? Just have them rolling around? Do I have to go get him, like, Tupperware from my sister's kitchen and put it in this toolbox for these? No. Not going to lie, I would much rather have gotten him something blue to match his cart, sort of like this one from Olsa. I ain't got time for that. I was in the store. This is what's available. This is essentially the exact same thing, minus the name and the color change. Oddly enough, and US General would sell the snot out of these if these were treated like their main accessories for the carts. If they offered these in blue, green, orange, yellow, white, gray, purple, they would sell. Not just for people to color coordinate with their box, but to color coordinate bits, okay? Red, SAE. Blue, metric. Green, Torx. Orange, SAE hex. Purple, metric hex. You name it, whatever you're doing. If you burn through just number 2 Phillips, or you do decking and you use T25, boom, there you go, right? Stock them. Because this right here would absolutely suck for my nephew to open up these 3 packages and just have them rolling around in the drawer, right? That's where this comes in. This should be more than sufficient. I want to say these were $9.99. Don't hold me to that, but something around there. You're familiar with them. It's essentially the Olsa thing I showed you over there. Cool deal, in my opinion. Last but not least, stocking stuffers for my mom, for my sister, and for my nephew. I'm a simple man. I've said this many, many times now. These just work. They don't suck. They don't disappoint me. Are there better flashlights? I say it all the time. I'm confident that there are. Would I prefer blue or a brighter color that I don't drop and lose in the dark? Sure. But at the end of the day, these are just functional. They're nice to have. And I thought, you know what? I'm in the store trying to think of some things to give people. And this is practical, affordable, easy to replace if they lose it or if they like it. It's like, you know, my sister's like, I love that flashlight. I need more of them. And boom, here you go. Throw one in the nightstand, throw one in the kitchen, throw one in the utility room, the garage, your car, whatever. They're that cheap, and they're, like I said, I don't have high expectations for flashlights, but they're pretty good. So, with that said, that is pretty much what I did for them. You got to see the KC tool haul, now you get to see this one, and I think that's a pretty good Christmas, personally. Maybe I'm biased, maybe I'm stupid, I don't know, maybe it's a little bit of both. It's, I don't know. I think if anyone watching this, I feel like I could give this to you and be like, whoa, thanks, man. Yeah, this is really cool. Some of you might be like, I'm not touching that junk. Others of you might be like, oh, wow, you know, that's pretty cool, but it's not really up to my standards. I'm just going to throw it in the truck. Wherever you put this stuff, it's pretty nice, and you're probably going to use this a lot more than your high-end stuff anyway. I see it all the time. People have really, really good tools, but then they're always using their junk stuff that they claim to hate. So, I know how it works in the real world, but yeah. Again, I hate not opening this stuff for you, but hey, this is what it is. Again, maybe some of you in the same boat. Some of you might have done something eerily similar to what I did for your son, your daughter, your nephew, parents, grandparents, who knows. Maybe some meth head, you know, just boosted everything in the back of your dad's truck, and you got something similar for him, right? To start replacing everything. It's yeah, I think this is a pretty good little Christmas here. You know, I might be biased, like I said, but I'd be pretty happy with it at his age. So hopefully he likes it. Time will tell. I'll get to give it to him here in a couple days. We'll find out. But right now, I got to wrap all this stuff, man. So that's what I'm going to do. I also need to get inside and get my dinner going here. It's 7:45 now, so nothing new for me. We'll eat, you know, like 8:30 to 10, somewhere in that window. It is what it is. So yeah, I think this is pretty cool. Again, you know, you got to keep in mind he's 18 years old, high school graduate, college student, however you want to view it. Obviously, that's your breadwinner right there. Sockets, kind of underappreciated heroes there. The nut setters, can't go wrong with magnetic nut setters. Got storage for him. Got him an extra battery, so he can't complain when this one dies because it's 2.5 amp hour. And it is what it is, right? So, yeah. Let me know your thoughts on all this. If you've got experience with this, some of you, hopefully, have the brushless version and have the plebeian entry model that I got. And what I want to know from you is, can you tell a performance difference? Aside from the lighting, anything obviously like that. Just in terms of the efficiency of the motor, did your other one, you know, crap out on you, you know, in 6 months of heavy use or abuse, and this one's still going? Do you think that the older one was better? If you've got the experience with them, let us know. Same thing, if you've got the original, like I do, how long have you had it? Has it let you down? Are you still using it? What are you doing with it? And of course, right here, I think this is a pretty solid buy as is. Obviously, I'd prefer a slightly larger battery, but you know, for 97 bucks, I think this gets you going. Can't complain. Getting a free 2.5 is a... This is where if it wasn't packaged and they would just give you the upgrade to a 5 amp hour, I think they might move more kits for like seasoned users of tools, you know, but good entry level stuff. And again, kind of instills, especially at a young age, to, hey, have your spare battery charged, idiot. You know, you don't want to be in the middle of something, go down, don't have the torque to break something loose, it just totally quits on you, and boom, guess who didn't charge their battery from last time? It was you. No one else to blame but yourself. So, sort of a teaching point, hopefully. But with that said, I will quit rambling. Again, any thoughts or opinions on this stuff, feel free to throw it out there. If you cashed in on any of this as well, let us know. But again, we're thrifty, we shop around, we get deals, and I think we give good gifts. So, pat on the back from me to me. Sincerely, me. So, with that said, LoneStarMopars.com is the website. You can find us Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all three at Lone Star Mopars. Who knows, maybe over the Christmas break I'll finally have time to use social media again. Right now, just trying to stick to YouTube as much as I can, which is not as much as I would like, but it is what it is. If you enjoy the content and you have not subscribed, I encourage you to do so. If you grab your Brushless Harbor Freight quarter drive impact, throw it in the back of the Charger, jump across the creek, get it wet, soak it, run into the store, and exchange it without a receipt in under 10 minutes. YouTube just might notify you that we got brand new videos every Wednesday and Saturday, 9 a.m. Texas time. With that said, thanks again for watching. Most importantly, I hope I catch you back here next week. And even more important than that, I hope you have yourself a very Merry Christmas. Oh, back for the Buzzkill here, man. I tell you, I just assumed, again, never assumed you'll make an ass out of you and me. I assumed this was a 2.5 amp hour. It is not. Zooming in. Do you see the decimal point there behind the 2, right before the AH? You don't. You know why? Because it's not there. That's a 2 amp hour battery. So my apologies. The free battery is a 2.5, so that's kind of even more of a win. But yeah, I wasn't even thinking that was a thing. I just assumed it was a 2.5. My apologies once again. I'm sure people have already sounded off in the comments. This is a 2 amp hour, idiot. Well, watch till the end because I can't edit it when you've already seen it. So there you go. But yeah, so nonetheless though, still think it's a cool gift. Hope he likes it, and I still hope you have a fantastic Christmas.